Hello everybody, thanks for being with me here today. This is Scott from Aspiria Fitness Center, and you're joining me today for our mobility and more, and our focus today is on the anterior chain. So these are all muscle groups on the front side of our body, or the anterior side of our body. So we're going to be working on things like our quads, chest and pecs, biceps, and our anterior deltoid on the front of our shoulder there. So I've got behind me here for class today a bench. So you can use whatever you've got at home to function for a bench. If you don't have one, of course, available to you. I've got a mat for a little bit of core and stretching and mobility. I have one set of medium dumbbells, and I also have a light loop band that we'll use around our feet for one exercise here through. So if you've got a band, go ahead and grab that. And of course, as always, make sure that you have a water bottle handy if you need some extra hydration, and of course, make sure you've got your sweat towel too, just to make sure we can wipe off any sweat that we might build up during our class here. So we're going to start today. We're going to jump right into it. We're going to start with just a little bit of mobility here and warming up before we go into a little bit of strength building for our anterior chain here. But we're going to start, and we're going to march 20 reps, and we're going to have a dumbbell held on one side for each one of those sets of 20 here. So this is going to help warm up our core a little bit here, as well as getting our hip flexors, which is another anterior chain group that we're going to start using. So we're going to lock up our core. We're going to hold one dumbbell to our side here, making sure we don't lean with the weight of that dumbbell. And we're going to march 20 paces, and then we're going to flip the dumbbell to the other side and march another 20 paces here. So nice and slow. Make sure we're driving that knee up to our chest here. Halfway there, making sure we're keeping that active core. Just a few more on each side here. And good. So there's our 20. We're going to go ahead and flip that dumbbell to the other side. So now we're leaning the opposite way, causing our core to brace in a different manner. And we're going to do that same thing, marching 20 slow, controlled paces, driving that knee up to our chest, keeping that core nice and active here, trying to stay as upright as possible. Halfway there, take a break if you need it. Should be feeling like these hip flexors are getting nice and loose here. Last set here, 9 and 10. Nicely done. Great. That's getting our lower body and hips and core warmed up just a little bit. We're going to go ahead and lay onto our side next. We're going to start warming up our chest and shoulders a little bit, and of course, just a general bit of mobility for our thoracic spine, our mid-back here. But we're going to start laying on one side, so these will be familiar to some of you here. We're going to kick one leg out. Our bottom leg is going to be straight, and our top knee can come over here across the top. We want to try and get that knee to touch the ground or the floor or mat, whatever we have here. And we're going to do 5 reps of 2 maneuvers here. We're going to go our open book, just driving straight back that way, opening up this chest and shoulder, and then we'll go into our arc pattern with thumbs down, driving that thumb all the way back overhead and back here for our overhead arc. So we're going to go ahead and start with 5 of our open book here. Hold that knee down if you like. Try and drive that palm, back of your hand all the way to the floor behind you. Just 5 quick reps here. Starting to feel some chest and shoulders opening up a little bit here. 3, 4. Feeling a stretch across those chest muscles maybe here as we drive that palm way back, and 5. So we're going to go straight from here into our arc pattern. So thumbs down toward the floor, and we're arcing straight up overhead. Follow that thumbs down with your hand, with your head and eyes, and come all the way back, and that's 1 rep. So we got to do 5 on this side. So we should feel some nice action right on our front delta, and still continuing to warm up that pectoral group there as well. So arc around as far as you can, keeping that thumb as close to the floor as we can. We got to get number 3. 2 more here. We're going to do the other side. 4 and 5. Great, so we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we have to do both of those combo, the open book and the arc, So we're going to kick our bottom leg all the way out, bring that top knee down to the mat as close as you can, and we're going to go ahead and hold that knee down if you'd like, so we can get a little bit more range of motion. And we're going to go ahead with our open books here, driving the back of that hand all the way behind you as best you can, feeling our chest and shoulders start to open up a little bit here. Last one here. See if you can get the back of that hand all the way back to the ground behind you, or as close as we can get. Great. And so we're going straight into our arcs here. Thumbs down. We're going to arc up over the top. Follow that hand with our eyes as best we can, and bring it back around the top. So we should start to feel that nice stretch on the front of our shoulder. Our chest is continuing to stretch as well here. And last one here, thumbs down, nice big arc all the way up around overhead. Feel the stretch on our chest and shoulder, and close it back up. Good. So there's our set of 5 each on that side as well for our open book. We're going to go ahead and lay down flat on our back here next, and we're going to continue warming up our arms and chest. If you've got a foam roller or something you can put right in between your back shoulder blades there, so lift us up off the ground a little bit, you can do so. We don't really need that. Otherwise here we're just doing our pectoral angels here. So we're going to start with elbows at a slight bend overhead like so. We're just going to drop arms almost like a jumping jack motion, only we're just going to let our arms hang. Hover those arms slightly above the ground, and we'll feel some stretching on our chest and shoulders there as well. So we're right here. Elbows are staying up off the ground as we arc down here. Keep that slight bend in your elbow. Tuck elbows into your side and come right back up to the top. So we're going to do 5 nice and slow all the way down and back up. So there's number 2. Feeling that stretch on our chest muscles as we suspend our arms just a little bit here. Tucking elbows in, there's number 3. 4, and one more nice and slow all the way, full arc all the way down and back up to the top. So last one here, tucking elbows down to your side. We're getting a nice stretch on our pec muscles here, floating those elbows. We're going back around to the top, and we're finishing. There's our set of 5 for our chest right there. We're going to go ahead and keep it moving on to our last one here. So we're going to sit on our bench for a little bit of warm up before we go into a little bit of more resistance-based exercise for some of our body parts here. So we're going to sit, and we're just going to float our heels, and we're just going to do some ankle circles, 10 in each direction. You can do both feet at the same time. And we're going to go 10 circles in the other direction. 3, 2, and 1. There we are. Perfect. So we're starting to feel a little bit of looseness coming on to our front of our ankles there. So we're going to stand up here, and we're going to go through our first block of our exercises here, working our way around our body, all of an anterior chain. So we're going to start at our feet and work our way up to our quads, and we'll get some core and upper body mixed in as well. So what we're going to start with here is our big leg muscle on the front of our leg here, and often underused or undertrained muscle, tibialis muscle, which is that big muscle that runs right along our shin bone, and that muscle is responsible for bringing our toe up towards our shin like so. So in order to train that muscle and get some mobility and action in that muscle, what we're going to do is actually lean up against any wall that you have or anything that you can lean on, and we're going to get into a position where our heels are on the ground and our toes are slightly elevated up off the ground. So they can be rested on the ground. Toes can be very slightly if you want them to, but our goal here is just to lean back on the wall so we have support for our back, and we're on our heels, and we're just pulling our ankles or pulling our toes straight up. We should feel that nice flexion in the front on the lateral or outside parts of our shin there. So we're going to do 15 reps here, moving together at the same time. So we're going to go ahead and take that away. So our first one, we're going to pull up and squeeze that muscle for a second before we slowly return to the ground. So there's 2. We're going to get 15 reps here. if we're feeling some stiffness in our ankles, this might be a point of emphasis to work on a little bit more of that ankle mobility. You can jump back to our last video about ankle mobility here and watch us and get a little bit more ankle training in there. We're approaching our 15 rep mark here. We're going to say this is number 9 and 10 coming right up. So we got 5 more to go. Bringing those toes up to our shin here, feeling that lateral shin muscle working really hard here. So we got to go. Here's number 12. We got 3 more to go. 13, 14, and one more big one. Nice hold and squeeze for 2-3 seconds at the top. 3, 2, and 1. Good. So we should be feeling a little bit of a burn in the front of those muscles, right? That run right along the outside of our shin bone there. That's our tibialis muscle that we're working on training there. So that's our first set from our tibialis muscles. So from here, we're going to go ahead and just take some body weight squats, or you can load this if you like. We'll go through some more rounds and we're going to add some more resistance into our extra rounds, but we're going to have a slightly more narrow stance than usual here. That's going to help us keep a little bit more focus on the quads. And if we'd like to load that, we're going to do so right in front here, so that make sure we keep our chest nice and upright, so that we keep focus on our quads as well. So we're going to do that here. Toes are a little bit more narrow than normal, right? And we're just going to start with body weight for our first 15 here. So we're sinking down and coming right back up. So keeping our chest nice and tall as we sink down into that. Feeling that on the quads there as we go. And we got 15 reps to go. Here's number 3, 4. Even though we're in a narrow stance, we still want to avoid knees caving in, so make sure we keep those knees tracking with our toes on the way down and squeezing on the way up. So we should be feeling our quads working hard here. We got 5 more. Here is 14 and 15 is our last one. So good, that's our narrow squat. We'll load that later on here. We're gonna go right on to sitting back down on our bench here for our next exercise. And this is a double knee extension. So no weight on these today. We're just worried about getting a big squeeze in our quads here and really feeling that in the muscle group here. So we're gonna do double extension at the same time. So hold onto the bench if you need it. Get your feet into a good position, and all we do from here is we're just kicking feet out, and we're gonna hold for about 3 seconds. Make sure we're really locking out those quads and come all the way back down. Good, so there's number 1. We got 15 reps to go. Make sure we get a good squeeze. Lock those knees out. 2, 1, and return feet to the floor. Here we go. 3, good. Make sure we're getting a good squeeze in there. 2 to 3 seconds. Rep number 4. 5, 6, 10 here. Rest those feet down if you need a quick break. Make sure we're getting a big squeeze in our quads. Rest your feet for just a second. We got 5 more reps. Big squeezes there. Making sure we get that nice long hold, locking out those knees, feeling our quads working really hard. Here's 2, number 12, right? 3, 4, and last one with a big squeeze from our quads. And there's number 5. Good. 15 total. We took a break between 10 and those last 5. So we're going to keep it moving right down the line. We're grabbing our small loop band next here. So this is going to help train our hip flexors. We're going to put this right around our toes as we lay flat on our back here. And we're going to pull one knee up to our chest at a time, pulling against that band, which is really going to add some extra resistance on the hip flexor. As we pull our knee up, we're going into hip flexion, so we add that resistance right at the toe. And we're going to do 15 reps on each leg. So we're going to stick with one leg for the full set of 15, pull them all the way up to our chest, and then switch legs to our other side for the other 15 reps. So we're just going to put this band right around our toes, like so. Feet are going to stay nice and close together. We're going to have to work hard. You want a lighter band here, hopefully, so we can get some range of motion. We don't need to overdo it on the resistance here. Just a little bit of resistance will go a long way with our hip flexors. So feet are together, nice and tight with that mini loop band, and we're just laying flat onto our back here. Legs are fully extended out in front of us. So from here, 15 reps, and we're just pulling one knee up to our chest, feeling that tension on our hip flexor, and foot goes right back down. So we got 15 reps per side. Take a break. Small sets of 5 if you need to. This will fatigue our hip flexor pretty quick, right? So we're going to keep it going as best you can. Modify the rep count if you need to. Here's number 9. And my band is coming off a bit. We're going to adjust my band. Keep it going. We got 6 more reps to get to 15 on that leg. So here we go. There's number 10. 5 more on this side. 11, 12, 13, 2 more before we switch. And last one, number 15, there we go, good. So we're repeating the same thing on the other side, 15 reps on our other leg here. Whenever you're ready, you can take that away. If you need to pause the video and come back to us, that's okay. Take a break, make some adjustments. We're going to start our other 15. So don't forget to do small blocks of 5 if you need to. Pulling against that bend. We don't need too much tension, just enough to give our hip flexors a little extra resistance. There's number 10. So go ahead and relax for just a second if we need it. We're going to get a little bit of fatigue in those hip flexors, right? So we're going to go ahead and get our last 5 here as that fatigue wears off slightly. And last rep here, number 5, or 15. We took that slight break again in between 10 and our last 5. So that's our set of hip flexor with our band there. Keeping it moving down the line, we're going to go ahead and take our next option, which is moving our way up. We went to our ankles, to quads, to our hip flexors, and now we're moving up to our chest here. And so we're going to go ahead and grab our dumbbells here. For a floor press is our first exercise, so we're going to get those chest muscles nice and active here. Lighter, medium weight is all we need. We just want to make sure we get some kind of weight under these so that we can build a little bit of strength while we're using these chest muscles today. So we're flat on our back here, and just a classic floor press here. We can be in hammer grip or neutral grip with our palms facing each other. We can flare those elbows out just a little bit so these dumbbells are at a slight angle. We've got 15 reps of our floor press here, pressing straight up to the ceiling. And slowly lowering that light weight so that we get some extra resistance built up in our chest. So think about pushing right up and then a 3-second descent on the way down before we get those elbows back to the ground. We got 15 to go, or to complete, excuse me. Here's number 5. Slow lower. 6. 7. 8. 5 more here. Don't forget to take that quick break if you need to in between these a little bit higher number of reps per sets. 11, 12, 13, 2 more. 14, and last one, we're lowering nice and slow. We're going to get 1 more rep here. 15, And a nice slow lower all the way down to the ground. Here we go, nicely done. There's our 15 of our chest press with the slow eccentric to help stretch those muscles a little bit more and keep the tension high for us there. So we're onto our upper body now, so we're gonna stand onto our feet, and we went from our chest, we're gonna keep it going onto our biceps and onto our shoulders here. So what we're gonna do first for our bicep curl is just 15 reps, but we're gonna do each arm, and the other hand is gonna be holding an isometric curl or at a 90-degree angle with our elbow there. So we're holding this arm here, and we're gonna do 15 curls on this side, nice and slow and controlled. Remember here, we're not going for really much strength building today. Just get a nice light weight that you can work through with and get some movement in those biceps. So we got a nice, easy 15 pounds here for me today. So we're holding one arm nice and steady with that 90-degree angle, like so, as we curl 15 reps on each other arm. 3. Coming up on rep number 10 right here. And 15. So we're going to rest those arms for just a second. We're going to do the same thing. So we're switching that hold to the other arm, and we've got 15 reps on our opposite side this time. So we're going to take just another second or two here. Curl that arm back up here, holding on this side right over here, and I'm curling on the other arm, 15 reps. Nice and slow and controlled, especially on the way down. Halfway there, make sure we're holding that nice angle on the other side. Five more reps. 13, 14, and 15. We had to bring that other dumbbell up. We were starting to sag a little bit there. So we're going to keep it moving right down our list. We did our bicep curls with the iso hold on the opposite side, and now we're going to go for 15 front raises here using our anterior deltoid, that front shoulder muscle here. So palms go down onto the ground, or facing the ground, or closed grip. So palms are facing us here, and we're going to get that slight bend in our elbows, and we're just bringing weights up right up to eye level there as best we can here. So again, light weights, we're just going for some movement, mobility, right? We can build a little bit of strength, but we're not going for exertion here with the muscle group, just 15 reps. There's 10. We got 5 more here. Finishing strong, keeping those palms facing down toward the ground. And there's our last rep with the shoulders, 15. Good, so we're gonna go back to our lower body here for some core, or I'm sorry, back to our mat. So we're laying down on the ground using our core muscles here. And we're going to get a little bit more hip flexors and a little bit of our upper abdominals mixed in here before we finish our last few here. We're going to run through one more time, and then we'll get another little bit of block of our mobility back at the top to cool these muscles down that we've been working on. So we're going to go here, 15 reps, flat on our back. We're combining a knee tuck with a crunch here a little bit. So we're coming back to these hip flexors that we did. Single leg like so, but we are going to go now double knee tuck, and from here we're reaching up as those knees are tucked down. So you can bring your arms out to your side or flat, knees go first, and then we get the crunch at the top. So we crunch up here, reach to the sky for number 2, and then we can extend out. So Making sure our core stays active here, working hard. Take a break if you need to. Continue that reach up. Try and get those shoulder blades up off the mat. A few more reps to go here. And here's our last rep. 15. Okay. We're jumping around today. We're back up on our feet. Our next exercise here, for those shoulders a little bit more here, seated press. This is going to get our core active, as well as working on those shoulder muscles as well here. So dumbbells right here at our side. We're seated in a comfortable position, and we just got 15. Pressing straight up to the sky, slowly lowering back down to our start. Five more reps to go. Finish strong here. And 15. Good. Dropping that weight. And we're going to do body weight for our next exercise here. You can use weights if you'd like. We're just going to focus on our body weight today. We don't want to overdo it too much. So we're going to do a split squat next, and that's going to keep a lot of focus on our quads here. And we're going to go ahead and kick that toe up. So we kick one toe up on your bench, or your couch or armrest or anything you have behind you, and get that front foot situated here. And we're just sinking down and driving straight up out of that. So make sure we keep our chest and torso nice and upright to keep that work on our quads there. We got 15 reps on each leg. Coming up, 3 more to go. Make sure we've got our solid plant foot, and last rep. Good. So we should be feeling a little stretch and tension when we do that split squat on the front of our quad and hip flexor on our other leg. So we're getting a little bit of double time on that exercise as we train one leg and stretch the other one a little bit, right? So same thing, we got 15 reps on our other side here. So we're kicking that other foot back up there on our bench or our riser or whatever we have, and we're going to do 15 reps on our other leg here. 1. Last rep, and there's our 15 of our split squat. Very good. We're working our way down the line. We've got one more. We're coming to just do one classic plank from our elbows and toes, or we can use tall plank if we need to. And we're going to get a little bit of movement into our core here. We're going to actually go into tall plank with our rotations from that tall plank. So take away the classic plank, and we're going to do tall plank here, and we're going to add in rotations to each side from that tall plank position. So on the mat if you'd like. I think it's a little easier to do on the ground. And we're going to add an extra rep for 16 total, since we are going to be uneven otherwise. And of course this is going to help us keep a lot of tension on our chest and shoulders and our core while we move through this little bit of range of motion in our upper body. So we're in our tall plank position like so. Make sure you set your base nice and wide with your feet at the bottom so we're stable and comfortable. And we're going to twist up to the sky, alternating our count to 16. We're doing a bonus rep to even out on both sides. Don't be afraid to drop if you need to. Recover a little bit. There's 10. And number 16, the last one there. Go ahead and grab your drink. Take a break if you need it. That is all for our first round through. So we're going to run through the same block here, and we're dropping all of our reps to 12. So we're going to start at the top. 12 reps through one more time, and then we'll finish up today with a little bit more stretching and mobility for our hips, quads, and chest. So we're going right back to our spot on the wall. Whenever you're ready, grab that drink of water. Wipe your sweat if you're building up a little sweat. And we're going to go back to our spot on the wall where we lean. We've got our tibialis raised once again, so we're going to feel that burn coming back on the front of our quads a little bit there. Now that we know what we're doing, let's go ahead and fly through these reps. So we're leaning up against the wall. Our toes are elevated off the ground just slightly, so we're on our heels, and we're pulling toes right up to our shins and knees. 12 reps this time through. And 12, big hold and squeeze on that last one. 2, 1, and relax. So again, should be feeling those ankles loosened up a little bit. We're feeling a little bit of burn on our front. Those muscles there, our tibialis muscle right on the long outside part of our shin bone there. So we're going to bring back our front squat. We're going to load this round a little bit. 12 reps here. We're going to load right in front of our chin here. Hopefully this is going to keep our chest from dipping forward, right? So we got to keep it nice and upright. We're going to keep our narrow stance, so a little bit narrower than we normally would, to try and help direct a little bit of focus on the quads here some more. So we're going to go ahead and dip down for our 12 reps. Keep that chest up nice and tall. Knees are in line with our toes, even though we're in a little bit more narrow stance. Chest stays nice and tall. We got to keep that weight right by us so we're staying tall. Quads are starting to burn. $14 and 15. Last one. All right, so we're going to come back to our seated position. Continue that little bit of burnout on our quads. We've got our double knee extensions here, so we're going to kick legs out at the same time and get that big squeeze in the quads. So don't forget to really squeeze them. Hold for a second or two. Going for 8 here. We got to get to 12. We're almost there. 9. Shorten ground here. 10. 11. And one more big squeeze. Squeeze in quads. Make sure we're squeezing. 3, 2, 1, and relax. 12 reps there. So we're back on our mat. Mini loop band going around the toes. We're going to fly through our 12 hip flexor with the band around our toes here. 12 on each leg. Don't forget to do both sides today. Hip flexor is on the docket. Band is at our feet, and we got 12 pulls up against that band. Light resistance on the band. Almost there. 10, 11, we're feeling a little fatigue in those hip flexors probably, right? And 12, good. So relax that leg down. Adjust your band if you need to. In between these sets here, we're going for 12 reps on the other side here. Slow and controlled, pulling against that band, driving that knee up to your chest. We gotta get ready to go here. Next set of 12, underway. Slow and controlled is the goal here. There's 5, 6. Split up halfway if you need to. Rest for just a second. Finish your other 6. Here we go. 7, 8. Last 3. Here we go. 10, 11, and 12. Good. We're going to keep it moving. On down the line. We're doing great. Halfway through our second set here. We're going to stay right on our mat. We got to grab these dumbbells next here. And we're going to our floor press here again. So we're flat on the ground. Palms are facing each other neutral, or they can be elbows very slightly flared out with a slight angle at the dumbbells. And we're going to go ahead for our 12 reps here. Nice and slow on the lowering portion. Almost there. Let's finish strong. 9, 10, 11, and 12. Good. Nice work. We're going to keep it moving. After our floor press, we did our bicep curl with the isometric hold on one side. We've got 12 reps on the other side. We're going to jump right into it. Here we go. 12 reps on one arm. Slow descent, slow lowering there. Make sure we keep that nice strong angle on our other arm. Almost there. 10, way to go. 11, and 12. Good. So hang those arms down for just a second. We're switching sides. Got to keep that nice 90-degree angle on our other arm. We're moving right along. Here we go. We got to get those dumbbells back up there. Nice angle on that arm while I curl the other side. 1. Got to get to 12. Keep holding strong. 11 and 12. All the way down. Good job. Those are tough with that hold, right? So we got 12 reps right into our front raise here for the shoulders. We're going to keep it moving down the line. 12 front raise reps. Here we go. Start whenever you're ready. Take a break if you need to. Three more. Finish strong. 10, 11, and 12. Good. We're going back down onto our mat. We've just got a few more to finish up. We'll go through a little bit more of a mobility block before we call it a day today. We've got our knee tuck and reach up crunch combo. 12 reps here. So we're flat on our back. Arms and knees come up at the same time, and then we're reaching toward the sky. 12 reps. 1, 2, 3, 4, Halfway there. Nine, finish strong, 3 more to go. 10, 11, and 12. Good. Back up to our bench for our last few. Here we're going to do our overhead press seated, our split squat, and then we've got our plank rotations to finish out our little bit of strength block, and then we're going through a little bit more for our mobility and recovery after this little bit of strength training we did here. So we got our seated overhead presses back. Dumbbells are up by our ears. Core stays nice and strong. And we're just pressing 12 reps. Slow lowering portion, nice and controlled all the way down. There's our 12 reps on that. We've got to get 12 split squats on each leg before we finish with our last set of plank rotations. So we're going to get that foot kicked up behind you on your bench or your couch cushion, whatever you've got today. We're going to make sure our chest stays nice and upright, and we're getting 12 reps on each leg. Straight down, straight back up. Solid forefoot and heel contact at all times on the ground. And as we sink, we should feel that stretch on our hip flexors and our quad on the other side. There's our 12 on that side. Switch your legs. One more quick set on this side and one more set of planks, and we're going to get a little more stretching and recovery in here before we call it a day. So 12 reps on this leg. Make sure we've got that strong plant foot. Halfway through, take a break if you need it. Got to get to 12, 7, come on. 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Good. Finishing up one more set of our plank rotations, and we're going to stop at 12 as well on this one. We're going to be nice and even. So we're in our tall plank. Elbows and arms are locked, so we keep tension on our chest and shoulders. And solid base with our feet. So we're nice and strong as we rotate up to the sky. 12 reps, here we go. One more on each side. Here's 11 and 12. Nicely done. We're through our second block. We're going to go ahead and move on to a little bit of more mobility and stretching to finish us out today. So we're going to start today with a heel pull, or we're going to modify this if we can't get into this position comfortably. We're just going to do a classic hold, pulling that heel back towards our butt. If we can, we're going to use our couch cushion today, and hopefully have a mat or something to kneel on. And we're going to do our couch stretch for our quads and hip flexors, and this will also stretch the top of our ankle. And we're going to hold for 30 seconds on each leg on this one here. So we're in our kneeling position, and we're going to kick that toe up onto our bench or whatever you have for that leg, and then we're up on our other knee like this. So we're leaning, we have a nice stretch on my quad hip flexor. And we're just gonna hold for 30 seconds here on this leg. And of course, if we can't comfortably get into this position, we're just gonna have you hold that heel pull straight up to our butt with our heels. Otherwise, we're getting a nice stretch across the top of the ankle, as well as my quads and hip flexors here. So activate your core to get a little more stretch on the hip flexor there. And we're holding, lean forward if we need to relax it. Lean back upright a little more to get a deeper stretch. We got 10 seconds to hold here before we switch legs. 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. So we're gonna lean forward, kick that leg down, and we're gonna switch sides. So getting that other toe up there, other knee out in front of you here, and we're gonna lean back onto that stretch again. We've got a nice deep stretch on our quad, hip flexor, and our ankle there, and we're holding. Support yourself here if you need it on your leg. Leaning back, squeezing our core, deepen that stretch on our hip flexors and quad. And of course we can lean forward if we need to relax that a little bit. So we've got about 15 seconds left. Keep holding it. Deep stretch across the front of our leg here. And we're resting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Nicely done. So we were just doing that classic knee pull if we can't accomplish that position we just tried right there. That's a tough one to get into. We're going straight down into our mat now for a Cobra Pose for 30 seconds. So this one we tuck our toes under, squeezing our glutes, and we're gonna take a big breath in, expand our abdominal cavity, and we're looking forward, slightly upward, sinking those hips forward, and we're gonna hold. So clock is ticking, big breath in, expanding that abdominal cavity. We're squeezing glutes, leaning shoulders back. We're holding. We're about halfway through. 10 seconds to go. Keep feeling that deep stretch across our abs there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Nicely done. Feeling that relaxation in our abdominal cavity a little bit there. We're gonna go straight back on our stomach on our mat for one more. Then we're gonna run through some of our arcs and open books one more time to get a good stretch on our chest and pecs. So from this position here, we're gonna stretch our chest and our front shoulders. So we're gonna put one arm up, palm is flat on the ground. And from here, we're gonna open up our leg over our backside. So we're here, we're gonna lift up and we crank to the side of that chest there. Rotate your glutes and heel back towards that arm, and we feel a nice stretch across the front of our chest and pecs there. So again, we're gonna go, my right hand is down, right hand is flat palm, elbow is up in the air, and I'm gonna use my left leg to come over the side there a little bit. You don't have to kick your leg up so high, but we wanna rotate toward that arm to open up our chest on the opposite side. We're gonna hold for 30 seconds there. So get that arm down, and we're twisting toward that palm. We have a nice deep stretch across our chest and front shoulder there. And we're holding. We got 20 seconds to go. Feeling that stretch on our front of our shoulder and chest muscle. 10 seconds to go. Keep holding. Lots of pressure and tension there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're gonna switch. So now my left palm is down, elbow is up, and I'm cranking the other way, lifting up. You can have your elbow or your hand down here as well. So we're feeling that deep stretch on the other side of our chest and shoulder. Cranking that leg back as best you can. We're holding here. 20 seconds to go. Relax if you need to. Try and keep that tension and pressure high on the chest and shoulder there. Halfway there, 15 seconds to go. Keep holding. Drive those hips and waist back as best you can. Feel that high tension. 10 seconds left. Opposite side, chest and pec are stretching really good here. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax all the way back down. Nicely done. Should have felt a really deep stretch across our pec and shoulder on that one there. So if we can't get into that position comfortably, we can do a classic pec stretch on the door, which is similar. We're here, and then we just twist and stretch across the front of there. So you can do that on a door frame or anywhere you have where you can push your arm up against it. From there, we're going to go back through our open book and our arcs and our angel movement with our arms one more time, and then we're going to be good to go. So we're back on our side position here. Bottom leg is out. Knee is flat here. We're going to do 5 books and 5 arcs on each side. So opening that chest and shoulder way up. We should be closer to reaching the ground maybe now than we were when we started, right? We've trained these muscles a little bit and mobilized them. So one more. Try and get that palm all the way back, touching the ground. And from here we go straight into our 5 arcs. Thumb pointed down, staying as close to the ground as we can get it. Following with our head and eyes all the way over the top, holding our knee down on the front side. And there's number 5. We're going to flip it on over, 5 more on each, and we'll do one more quick set of our 5 Peck stretch angels, and we'll be done for the day. So here we are, back in our book position. So top knee is down, opening that arm up all the way, touching the back of your hand behind you if you can. Our chest and shoulders should be nice and open now. And 5. We're getting some better range of motion there. Hopefully you guys are doing so at home as well. So one more set of arcs here. Watching that thumb all the way over as best we can. Close to the ground, thumbs down the whole time. And last arc all the way up and around 5. Really great stretch on our chest and shoulders there. Last one here, flat on our back once again. Arms are slightly bent, and we're going to hover our elbows, and we're starting overhead, and we're just arcing down, tucking elbows into our side. Three. 2 more, nice and slow, big arcs, tuck the elbows. 4, and last one is number 5. Great. All the way back up to the top and relax. Just take a few minutes here. We're in our zombie pose or our corpse pose. Just relax. Let your arms and legs hang out for a second. Relax those hip flexors. Take a big breath in and out. Relaxing our chest and shoulders here as well. So one more big breath in and out. Five-second, nice, slow, deep exhale, and relax. So I hope you guys are feeling a little bit more relaxed. When we started, we did a little bit of strength training in there, a little bit of mobility work for our chest, shoulders, ankles, quads, and hip flexors. So hope you guys liked the class today. This was mobility and more with our anterior or front chain focus. Hope you guys will leave me a comment or some feedback on our page. Let me know what you liked, how you enjoyed the class today. We hope to see you guys back in the fitness center soon. I hope until then you guys are taking care. I'm Scott with Corporate Fitness Works at Aspiria Fitness Center, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day.